Hi, I have a question for you. Which is more dangerous, social media addiction or drug addiction? What kind of a question is this? What, Neeraj? How could you compare these two? I have a news for you. Actually, social media addiction is much more dangerous than drug addiction. Not my words, this is the research. Let me share 3 reasons. Number 1, drug is illegal, you don't get it anywhere, you can't have it whenever you want, and it is containable. Number 2 reason, you can actually reverse the drug addiction through rehabs. It's a taboo, and people who have actually recovered from the rehabs usually don't go back. I'm talking of majority of the people, but that's not a case with mobile because it's not a taboo and there is no age limit. Can you believe it? Today mobile is being given even to a toddler as a babysitter. So there is no age limit, there is no time limit, you can use it anywhere, nobody tells you anything about it, it's available wherever you want, content is in billions of hours. You know what? The third reason, these two are psychological or emotional reasons. Now this will shock you. They did an MRI on a brain of a drug addict and a mobile phone addict and they could not find a difference. Isn't it very, very scary, friends? That actually drug addiction is much lesser a problem compared to social media addiction because there is no hope unless we do something about it. So this video is all about how do we control. The moment I talk about this, people label me as Neeraj, you are anti-technology. No, I am not. The only question I have is mobile controlling you or you are controlling the mobile? You know the answer and that will tell you whether you are addicted, is that affecting your life. So how do you control the social media addiction? That's coming up. When it comes to mobile addiction, it is not very different than drug addiction, and especially you've seen people who have not been given drugs, how they behave. They behave absolutely irrationally, right? And I want to show you some of the case studies or some of the news when people were denied mobile. What did they do? Some people committed suicide. Some people ended up killing their parents. Can you even believe this? Just because they were denied PUBG or one of those online games or something like that, people have killed themselves. There was a app that's called some Blue Whale app. People are going insane, especially kids, adolescents and teens, and very young in your career. So given the magnitude of the problem, how do we handle this? Let me share a news with you. Actually, mobile is not a problem. I said, then you know what, Neeraj? All this while you said mobile is a problem. Now you're all of a sudden telling me that mobile is not a problem. Yes, mobile is not a problem. Because this is a pattern I could observe when I studied a lot of people. And I keep coming back to you on this primarily because I wanted something that really works. We go deep into the problem and solve it at a root cause level. So what do I mean by mobile is not a problem? Do you blame a kitchen knife for stabbing? Do you blame a cricket bat for giving a catch? No, you don't. They're dead things. They're non-sentient. They don't move by themselves. You know what I'm saying, right? It's like cigarette or alcohol. It doesn't come and stick in your mouth, right? Unless you pick up and have it. Similarly, mobile just in the morning doesn't wake up itself and comes and switches itself on and show you the feed. No, it doesn't. They are dead stuff. So you don't blame a mobile or social media for it. It is us. There is something happening here. That's a bigger problem. So when I studied, when I heard people, how they were able to control, people who were able to control, you know what? Number one pattern we have discussed in the last video is they were happy. They had a purpose. And people who were not able to control, they were distracted. They were unhappy. So going back to our own logic, if mobile was the only problem, pre-mobile era, then everyone should have got excellent grades in the academics. Everyone should have exercised. Everyone should have been very happy. Was that the case before mobile? Come on, it was not. You and I know the answer. So you know what I'm saying, right? So the problem is not with the mobile. Problem is not with the social media. Problem is here. Unless we fix something here, problem will continue. It is just that mobile is super good at occupying our time, our space, our life completely because it's giving you audio, visual, it's an immersion experience. It wasn't the case with the radio or a newspaper because there was an end to it. You know what I'm saying, right? There was an end to it and it ended. Newspaper ended, audios ended, but mobile, it's a non-stop nonsense. Instead of saying mobile is a problem, social media is a problem, we need to fix something from within. And that's where I am heading to, especially when it comes to handling mobile problem, because once you crack that code, even if somebody wants you to look at mobile, you will not. So this is the direction we are getting into, so stick with me on this. So how do we address the problem here? First thing, it's time you take an appointment with yourself. Sit with ourselves, no phone, completely switch it off, say about half an hour. Because we take appointment from the doctors, lawyers and everyone in the world. We don't take an appointment with ourselves. So what do I mean by taking an appointment with ourselves? Very simple. When you take an appointment with yourself, ask yourself, what do I want in my life? What do I want to achieve? Don't say superficially, I want to be successful, I want a lot of money. No, sit with yourself. Take a pen and paper. Sounds cliched, but it's a very powerful exercise. Just stick with me and follow this. You would thank yourself for this. What's my purpose? What is important to me in life? The money, health, career. It is exactly what you've been talking to your friends, right? I want to make it huge in life. I want to be happy. That's exactly what I'm asking you. It's nothing out of the world. Money, health, relationships, achievements, pride, status, everything that you want and you are committed. It could be for somebody, it may be connection with God. Perfectly okay. I want you to write down what exactly do you want in life. Step number 2. Just fast forward your life by 5 years, 10 years. Just look back. How do you feel that your list, none of them has been achieved? How do you feel about yourself? You're not healthy, you didn't make enough money that you said you will make, you don't have the relationships, you are unhappy throughout. How do you feel about that? I want you to imagine going forward 5 or 10 years from now. I want you to spend time, don't distract yourself, friend. This is a very, very, very powerful psychological exercise because when I studied this supercomputer's language, it said the moment you start imagining, it feels real to you because brain does not know the difference between vivid imagination and reality. That's why when you recall somebody's death, you still feel as if you feel like crying because even though it's imagination, you experience that feeling. Similarly, when you look back into your life, what will happen if I have not achieved? If you're a student, what will happen if you have not gotten great grades? You didn't get the desired job. You didn't get that money that you said you will make. And all of your friends are doing very well and your society, imagine what your parents would feel about you. Imagine what would society talk about you. You do care, right? I mean, you may be in denial, I don't care. No, you do. Because there is nobody else listening to this video other than you and me. And it's a conversation you're having with yourself. Do you want to be, forget about others. Do you want to be like that? So when you go back, you see yourself, oh my God, that's not how I want to live. Gosh, not in 100 years. Right? We've had this discussion several times with ourselves, isn't it? The step number 3 is 5 years from now, fast forward and look back and you said, you know what? Oh my good God, I have done everything I said I will do. I've got the grades, I've got the money, I've got the reputation, I've got the relationship. Wow, I'm in perfect shape. Look at yourself having achieved everything. How would you feel then? Yes, super proud that I said I will do this and I did. I'll tell you something very funny happened about 4 days ago. I got a call from one of the friends whom I have been coaching for the last 20 years and we are in a constant touch. And he called me after an year. He said, Neeraj, I wanted to tell you something. He said, I'm so glad to call you because for the last 1 year, I said I will achieve 5 things and I did. In the area of finance, career growth, relationship, health, everything is a tick the box, Neeraj. I have ticked all the boxes. It feels so good. I said, wow. He said, I really wanted to talk to you because I couldn't talk to you for a year because I wanted to achieve and then talk to you. So that's the kind of a conversation we had. It was so gratifying to see him scaling new heights. Similarly, I want you to go back and just have a reflection. How does it make you feel? Now you know what one do you desire. And I also want you to ask this question. Whenever you have achieved something, what was the motivation lever? This is a little deep, friends. I want you to stick with me. What actually made you work? Is it moving away from pain? Or was it moving towards pleasure? You did something. What motivated you? Is it something which was painful that you wanted to move away? Or is it something that makes you want to do something? What is your motivation lever? Away from pain or towards pleasure? I want you to be very mindful, because we have done two things here. One, we have discussed all the things that will help us move away. I said, you know what? I don't want to face this. I don't want to face this. Oh, this is too much of a problem. This is called a Dickinson process in neuro-linguistic programming. Extremely powerful. This is the language of the brain I'm sharing with you. And this is exactly what toppers would do. This is exactly what achievers would do. A student who's a topper, he's so scared what would his life be if he doesn't. So he focuses on all the pain he will experience if he sacrifices or if he doesn't study now. So that movie is running in his mind. So every time he says, I want to study, if I don't study, oh my God, I will not fall in my own eyes. Now you see, he has a very strong lever, and that's exactly what I want you to experience. So what I want you to do is, I want you to do this at least once a day. Till you get a complete control, you are immersed in it. I know it's a little too much of an ask, but trust me, we are dealing with a very powerful monster here. That's a social media addiction, and it needs to be addressed in a right way. I just gave you a hint. You can be very creative. What would your friend think? What would your fiance think? What would your colleagues think? What would you think before you go to sleep? Is that what you envisaged yourself to be living like that? Your life? I want you to repeat. I said once a day. It could be 2 times a day. It doesn't have to be half an hour. It can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Just keep focusing on what price would you pay in the area of money, relationship, family, health, career, status. If you do not control social media addiction, you know why? It takes away time, it takes your attention, it completely distracts you from doing some meaningful stuff, and mobile will kill you. So if you constantly remind yourself, I don't want to fall trapped to this, that's the first step, and this is the number one pattern. Because if I share with you the techniques, they are very superficial if it is not backed by a very strong personal philosophy. Because I have read so many techniques, I've seen so many techniques, I've heard so many people doing A, B, C, D, but I also have seen patterns of people coming back because it was not backed by a solid foundation. So what I'm sharing with you is a very solid foundation of how our brain actually runs. Now that you practice this very effectively, let me share with you some of the most interesting tips that will ensure that you are not a victim of social media addiction.